Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very, very interesting Genesis episode. It's about time travel. Time travel in the government. I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your fucking mind if you haven't heard of it yet. So we all know what time travel is. The concept of moving through time. It's a popular idea in science fiction and philosophy, according to AI. But its feasibility remains a subject of ongoing debate and research. Not anymore. This is from the White House website, and I quote, "Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space." It's official. They can manipulate time. Let me see if I can. Okay, there we go. Is that good? Mind you, this is my first time I'm doing this, so if you guys have a problem with this setup here, let me know. I'm going to put my phone on D&D. So the first video I'm going to show you is a government official announces basically what I just read off of this website over here, off of this screenshot from the White House. Let's take a look.
The well-intentioned regulatory regime of the 1970s became an ever-tightening ratchet, first hampering America's ability to become a net energy exporter and then making it harder and harder to build. We seem to have lost focus and vision, to have lowered our sights and let systems and structures and bureaucracies muddle us along. But we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow.
Okay. That's from the Council on Foreign Relations. So, yeah. Isn't that crazy? The next video we have is from Redacted. I really like these guys. So let's see. I haven't seen this yet.
Time travel. I'm looking forward to this all day. I've been looking forward to talking with Ashton Forbes all day in the secret technology. Yes, the White House admitting this week, on the record, by the way, that we possess the technology to manipulate time and space. In other words, time travel, teleportation technology, like the very same technology that was used to make MH370, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, disappear in thin air on camera. And by the way, the people that are like, oh, that video's been debunked. Shut up. No, it hasn't.
Yeah, shut up.
It's been the opposite.
Exactly, shut up.
It's been bunked. It's not been debunked.
Look at AI over here trying to cope.
From the beginning
Remains the subject of ongoing debate.
One of our favorite guests here on
Shut
the show.
up.
I call him a physicist because he is. Citizen journalist and one of the most prolific individuals in this space, and just thrilled to have you on the show. Ashton, great to have you. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thanks, Clayton. Feelings mutual. It's always fun to talk to you.
Blast. I hope we have fun here. I'm real soundbite from General Quast. Now he worked in Colorado over the past couple of weeks that kind of came out. I want to play this first soundbite from General Quast. Now he worked in Colorado, training individuals, and he saw this technology.
This might be what we just watched.
Basically, I think on the desks of Air Force engineers in the United States Air Force, and it was basically admitting that we have these incredible technologies that allows us to teleport, transport in ways that you'd blow your mind. So let me just play a few seconds of this. Watch this one.
The technology is on the engineering benches today, but most Americans and most in Congress have not had time to really look deeply at what's going on here. But I've had the benefit of 33 years of studying and becoming friends with these engineers and these scientists. This technology can be built today with technology that is not developmental to deliver any human being from any place on planet Earth to any other place in less than an hour. To deliver Wi-Fi from space where you never need a cell tower to connect. To deliver...
Yeah. And then this just happened over the past 48 hours. Trump White House official of science and technology policy director Michael Kriatsos said that we possess the technology that can manipulate time and space. Watch.
Our passenger planes are slower
That's what we
than
just
they used to
watched.
be. Our trains crawl compared to those in other parts of the world. We have 1970s became an The well-intentioned regulatory regime of the 1970s became an ever-tightening ratchet, first hampering America's ability to become a net energy and bureaucracies. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space.
There it is
They leave
again.
Distance annihilated, cause things to grow and improve productivity.
So he's basically, and I love what you tweeted the other day. You pointed out basically he's admitting that we allowed our technology to sort of purposefully stagnate. That we almost like a slow.
We've been had this.
Yet we have the ability to manipulate time and space. So first of all, when you heard his comments, what did you think?
Yeah, and the first thing I thought was, okay, let me see the context. And when you get the context, it's actually even crazier in the context. He's saying that we intentionally made a choice to hamstring our technology. And he's talking specifically about transportation technology. And then he says, we are capable of so much more. And when he says that...
And I need you guys to keep this in mind, please. We have AI, right? We have ChatGPT. And it just came out of nowhere, and it's as powerful as it is. Can you imagine the stuff that they're not telling us about that they have? I said this in my Project Bluebeam video over on B1 Productions. If you guys want to check out my documentary channel, it's B1 Productions. Go check it out. I made a Project Bluebeam video. And the stuff that I was researching while doing that video, like using the ionosphere to project a super realistic hologram and all of the other technology that they were planning on using, like transmitting messages to your brain, it sounds unhinged. It sounds crazy to anybody listening. But the fact that the White House admitted, that the government admitted that we have the technology to manipulate time and space and teleport people, potentially teleport people. Just imagine the shit that they have that they're not telling us about. They're probably accessing other dimensions. Like, seriously. If you think that that's far out, just watch this. Just pay attention. I mean, this is crazy.
We have the ability to manipulate time and space. He's talking about gravity manipulation. That's what manipulation of time and space literally is. And then after that, he kind of speaks to other things that also would speak to things like what plasma might do to make things grow, as well as just, other applications for the same technology, potentially as well, like AI. He speaks to making things more productive, which in today's day and age would mean AI. He says something about the 1970s, which I don't think anybody really picked up on, but if you're somebody that has researched gravity research, in the 70s, the Mansfield Amendment was passed. And what this did was made it so that the military could not fund things that were not related to combat, direct military applications. And so gravity research got pushed to the defense contractors. So all of these references, like there's no way, if you're somebody, people gaslighting about, oh, he's talking about telephones, the internet, these people are sitting at the little kids table, right? Well, there's two videos out there in perfect sync that show a plane literally disappearing out of space-time that is still missing 11 years later. So we got to just be real about it, as much as we don't want to believe it, whatever, but it seems undeniable to me.
Yeah, we're watching this. This is MH370 on the screen here, which of course disappears using. So this is MH370 on the screen here, which of course disappears using. So would you say that maybe?
Well, that just looked like it went out of frame. Hold on. It actually disappeared? Let me see.
It seems undeniable to me.
Yeah,
there's a plane.
Watching this. This is MH370 on the screen here.
I mean, that's so strange. Look at those orbs. Look how fast they're flying around that plane.
Feel about
Look
it,
at this.
as much as we don't want to believe it, whatever, but it seems undeniable to me.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Come on now.
Yeah, we're watching this. This is MH370 on the screen here, which of course disappears using. So would you say that maybe the same technology?
But I don't know if that's a good angle. Like that just looked like it fell out of frame from that shot. Do you know what I mean? Let's watch that again. See?
Yeah.
I need to find another angle of this video. Maybe Twitter has something.
Watching this, this is MH370 on the screen here, which of course disappears using. So would you say that maybe the same technologies that he's talking about is what allowed the United States government to disappear MH370?
Yeah, definitely. And what we're talking about here is technology that you can find a lot of videos of engineers talking about this. That 0-point energy technology is an echelon above anything that we have conventionally right now. So even nukes are completely obsolete in face of this level of technology. And you'll hear people talking about this all over the place.
The fuck does that mean? Nukes are obsolete? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Like a nuke won't work, or we have technology that's stronger. I mean, can you imagine if they dropped like a bomb on the city that wasn't actually a bomb, but it just like teleported everybody to like, I don't know, the moon? That would be wild.
Place. So you can imagine a lot of scenarios where with this type of technology, you know,
So I don't know if that's the same plane. Is that the same plane in the other video?
the United States government is uncontested in the world. And this explains why nobody has really actually tried to challenge us on the global stage for, you know, almost an entire century at this point. And some people say, well, if these are out there, could other countries have figured it out? Yes, I think there's a shadow.
Bro, China definitely has this shit. They are so technologically advanced. If we have this, China definitely has this shit.
Arms race. And I think this overlaps with the
It's a
UFO
plane.
community where they say
Okay. Now I see those 3 dots.
that, you know, this might be UFO tech or whatever, and then Russia and China are working on it.
What's crazy to me, I don't know what these 3 things are. Obviously, that's the technology that makes things teleport. But can you imagine how quickly these things are like circling around this plane? That's all I'm thinking about. Like, this plane is probably already going fast, yeah? But these 3 dots...
This is what scares me the most about this, is that, you know,
That
if
is
2
crazy.
warring factions get this.
And it's like circling around the plane. It's not like just going like this. It's like going like that. It's going like that. I don't know if I'm holding this mic close enough. Yeah, it's
level of
crazy.
technology. The science on display here that I want to go through with you today, it has the capability of producing not just a
I wanna see it
wormhole,
disappear.
but actually a black hole. Like,
What? That kind of reminds me of what they're working at what's this? CERN? Is that what they're called? CERN? Listen, if we create a black hole, yeah, Organization for Nuclear Research, Particle Physics Laboratory, established in 1954. So they probably figured that shit out. And in 1970, they said, nah, we can't tell anybody about this. I'm not saying it's them that figured it out, but what I'm saying is it's these guys are up to some pretty crazy stuff too. So, but if we can create a black hole, like, that's really dangerous, don't you think? It could literally swallow the solar system if we create a black hole. Nobody would even know what happened. We'd just get like spaghettified instantly. You know what spaghettification is, right? If you just like, you know, in the black hole, there's like that theory. Like, we don't really know what happens when you enter a black hole, but one of the theories is that you just like stretch. Like, you eternally stretch. Spaghettification, that's what it's called.
like annihilation of the entire planet, maybe even the entire solar system. It's just a matter of scale.
I want to see this plane
and what
disappear.
You realize from these videos and the science related to them is that physics, the universe is
There it
scaling.
is. Look at that.
From these videos and the science related to them is that physics, the
Boom.
universe is scale invariant. Stuff that you can do on the small level, small scale, you can also do on the large scale. Those orbs that you see there, they are mimicking atoms. It looks like an atom. It's a positively charged plasma center with electrons that you...
So is that similar to the orbs that we were seeing over the sky? You remember that, like, in New Jersey? Well, New Jersey had the whole drone thing, which I also made a video about, which you should go check out. B1 Productions, please. But, yeah, man, strange stuff. So they're mimicking atoms.
You can see is
I don't know if you've seen the videos of the plasmas, but that's probably what it is. Probably pretty similar. because they move really fast and they seem to defy physics. Those little plasma things.
It's green as a shell around it. You can even see the shell of the electrons move fluidly when they start to spin around the plane because of the magnetic field they're producing around the plane. It's just wild when you look at.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. It's just, can you imagine how fast those things are going? And they look pretty big too. Like, I can't imagine somebody from inside of the plane, like, seeing those fucking things spinning around. I'd be freaked the fuck out. Are you kidding me? That's crazy.
Yeah, and you can see all of that detail from that.
Yeah.
So what I was hoping today is to, and I've seen you talk to Tucker Carlson, some people that are really prominent and connected, and I want to help because you're saying all the right stuff to get all the lingo and arm you with all the tools that you need to help explain to the general masses and to these people who are connected, like what's really going on here from the scientific perspective and from a suppression perspective and national security as well.
Please. So let's get into it. So, I mean, I think what you just said is amazing. The nuclear weapons are obsolete. Nuclear weapons are obsolete, that we have the ability to manipulate time and space. Those are the weapons that's why no one wants to touch us, because we.
See, I just thought about this right now, but it's probably the reason the Mandela effect existed. I don't know how old that conspiracy theory is, but I bet you it's from around the 1970s. When was Mandela effect coined? In 2009. Is it after the Berenstain Bears thing too? I think that's one of the, like, besides Nelson Mandela, the Berenstain Bears one was another one. There it is. You're telling me it was the Berenstain Bears? Come on. Just come on. Looney Tunes. Yeah, I always remember it being Looney Tunes. Unless I'm crazy. But these are just kind of like pop culture, sort of insignificant things, right? Can you imagine like what else they changed that we don't remember? Maybe everyone's just going crazy. Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're just changing shit around. And I think that a couple of letters in Looney Tunes or Berenstain Bears is the least of our concerns. They're probably changing a lot of things.
We have things that are far more powerful.
But they probably have to be very, very careful about it too. Did my computer just freeze? Fuck. Hold on. I don't think my computer can handle the fact that we're learning about time manipulation.
And I think you would agree that these technologies have come from UFO crash retrieval programs, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, I think there's a lot of options. I'm open-minded, and I've now grown to have a viewpoint of anything is possible under the right conditions. So does it come from aliens? Does it come from things that we dug up? Does it come from future humans or another dimension? I don't know if we have enough evidence to say for sure at the moment. I will say I'm pretty confident there's a psychological operation going on to get us to be convinced that humans can't understand this, that it's alien technology. It's alien physics that humans can't possibly understand. And that way, if we're doing black operations, covert operations, which is what the MH370 videos show, we can blame it on aliens. Oh, it was aliens zapped the plane away. No, aliens aren't zapping the plane away. That's us. That's what humans do. So I think that they're trying to get us to avoid that. And it's very important to realize that there is no alien physics. Anything that aliens can understand anywhere in this universe, that's physics that we can understand. We are simply missing something that's probably right in front of us when it comes to how these UFOs we see flying in the sky are moving around. And absolutely anyone out there, UFOs are...
I wonder where that plane got teleported to. That's what I'm wondering. Like, it got teleported. We see that. But where did it go? Dunno.
Real. There are things flying around that people do not understand. It doesn't necessarily mean it's aliens, though. Here's the secret. After I dug into it as an investigator, the answer
I
to
think
the
it's
question of
incredibly
how this is all
unlikely that it's
possible
aliens.
is negative energy. And you go, wait, Ashton. All the academics are saying that negative energy is this non-existent exotic substance. Yeah. Why are they saying that? Because it's not. It's a conceptual misunderstanding. And then, boom, the whole universe opens up to us. Tesla
So
technology is possible.
Yeah,
But
let's break it down for the layperson, and if we want to get this out to the masses. So, like in my conversations with Tucker and others about this, trying to kind of break through maybe the psychological operation that's out there and lay it bare for everybody. Negative energy, what is it, and how could it be used in all of these applications?
exactly. So there's something called the vacuum catastrophe, which is that we look up in the sky and we measure the cosmic microwave background. We're measuring all the heat that we can see in the sky. And we say that that's all the energy that's out there in the universe. And it comes to this relatively small amount of energy. But then quantum mechanics came around. Wheeler and Feynman came into play. And Schwinger and Feynman won the Nobel Prize for quantum electrodynamics in 1965. John Archibald Wheeler and Richard Feynman said, when you do the math from the quantum perspective on the energy of the universe, it's over 120 orders of magnitude higher than when we measure the cosmic microwave background. Why this discrepancy? Which one is correct? Is there no 0-point energy out there to be tapped into? Or is there a huge ocean of energy that can be tapped into? The difference between this question is the difference between whether or not negative energy exists or not. If you don't think negative energy exists because it's an exotic substance, then you're somebody that believes that the cosmic microwave background is the answer, that there's no energy to be tapped in.
Yeah, you know, there's a, I believe that it was also, if I'm not mistaken, an element that was supposed to be put on the periodic table of elements, but they didn't want to. It's called the ether. And you hear this a lot about, you know, in like esoteric and like, you know, sort of theological stuff too. They talk about like the ether, you know, like you hear a lot about like these new age people talk about, oh, I'm downloading messages from the divine from the ether, right? And it's supposed to be this like substance that permeates the entire universe and connects everything. So I'm not surprised. And also there's this theory that, let's see, ether, energy collection buildings. There's this theory about an ancient civilization, or not an ancient civilization, but like an old world order, like an old world civilization that existed that used like metal rods on top of towers as like conduit devices to connect, to basically have just free energy. Sort of like that. If you look at these old, I think Tartarian buildings harness atmospheric energy. So there's this whole theory that the reason you see these sort of Greco-Roman buildings all over the world, and they have like these tips at the end, like these metal tips, is because they were used. Old world energy temple. Yeah, you see that? Let me see here. Let's find it going. I don't really see much happening here. Is that infinity symbol? I see that. And there have been people that actually, I'm going to find a video of this because I think I have this. I reposted it on Twitter, on my private Twitter account. See, look at this. There was somebody that actually sent a drone up into the air, and I think they like connected it to the ground as well, like a wire. And it was literally harnessing energy from like the air, from like the ether. So it's entirely possible that this is what this guy's talking about. Really crazy stuff. Let's see, this is, which one was it?
But if you're somebody that understands quantum mechanics, you realize that we're not talking about thermal energy. We're not talking about heat. We're talking about
It's electromagnetism. That's what it is.
vibrational energy.
Yes.
The 0 point energy, that ocean of energy, it's vibrating all the time on the tiniest possible scales. And
If you read the Kabbalion, if you read like these old Hermetic texts, they talk about this. They talk about the fact that literally, like, a part of the universe is like ether, or I mean, you know, it just permeates the entire universe. And everything is based on electromagnetism. Like our bodies are based on electromagnetism. Physical matter is based on electromagnetism. Gravity. Some crazy stuff. And he was just talking about gravity manipulation, how it's time manipulation. And that's, you know, I'm not a physicist or a quantum physicist. I don't really have a deep understanding of these things. So if I'm butchering them, please somebody correct me. But I mean, this is some crazy stuff, man.
that's how we interact with it. That's why Tesla was saying that there's an ether of energy.
Yes.
And that the answer
There
to
you
the
go.
universe is energy, frequency, and vibration.
There you go.
So what these people need to understand then is, well, what's the thing that we missed? Zero's not the bottom. 0 point energy is quite literally the energy that exists below zero. The energy below the ground state. So zero is not the bottom. That's not zero. It's just the ground state. It's just the equilibrium state. That's us on top of the ocean. We're on top of the ocean floating around. So what's negative energy? Oh, we tap into that 0 point energy. We pull it out. And what are those orbs doing in that video?
There you go.
This is why it's proof.
The orbs. Oh, he's
This is
talking
why
about the orbs in
zap
that
the
video.
video is absolute proof.
I'm going to find those videos of orbs. Hold on. Oh, shit. I just skipped ahead. Wait. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
We see flying in the sky.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Really small
I got too excited.
amount of
Sorry.
energy. But then quantum mechanics came around. Wheeler and Feynman came into play. And Schwinger and Feynman out there to be tapped into? Or is... We're talking about vibrational energy. The 0 point energy, that ocean of energy, it's vibrating all the time on the tiniest possible scales. And that's how we interact with it. That's why Tesla was saying that there's an ether of energy and that the answer to the universe is energy.
Look at this shit. Orbs in the sky can be various things, from natural phenomena, dust or pollen, perceived spirits. Maybe. I mean, there's a theory that they're like, you know, the angels in the Bible, like that they're described like orbs or whatever, but I don't know. It's definitely not dust or pollen. I'll tell you that much. I mean, look at this fucking thing. I'm going to have to do some digging to find more videos for you guys, but like, come on. You're going to tell me that is dust or pollen? It's just there, stagnant in one place, and then all of a sudden it just launches itself into the sky. Insane.
Frequency and vibration.
And we saw this.
Exists below zero. The energy below the ground. Negative energy. Oh. Because they're shrinking the space. Like you look at my screen right here. Let me see if I can make this work. They're shrinking the size of the space itself. And when you do this, everything comes together. Everything gets squished together.
Yeah, it's like that old... I mean, my dad used to tell me this all of the time. Here. I'm literally going to show you right now. This is exactly what he's talking about. Give me a second. We're not going to watch this whole thing because I think this is going to be way too long, but I think you guys get the point here. I'm going to make an extra video doing this, but so let's say I'm going to draw this out for you. Got point A and point B. Shit. Y'all see that? Point A, point B, yeah? Let's say it takes you, don't know, 40 years to get from like, this is just a rough example. This is not literal, okay? It's just a rough example. Let's say it takes you 40 years to get from point A to point B, yeah? Got it? Now, what happens? I hope I'm holding this mic close enough. What happens if we just went like this? If we folded space-time, if we folded gravity or whatever, the ether. Again, I'm not a physicist. Let me line these points up real quick. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. So we just folded space-time here, okay? Let's do like that, more even. There we go. Basically, that's what we've done. Now we've gotten there instantly by folding space-time. You see that? 40 years, 1 minute. There you go. There it is. See? That's what he's talking about. That's exactly what he's talking about. Crazy. Okay. We're going to do like
and
2 more
when you
minutes
do
of
this,
this.
it changes the permittivity of the vacuum of that region of space-time, allows for negative energy to be possible because the ground state goes down for every atom that's there. And when that occurs, there's a release of energy. That release of energy is an ultraviolet light. This is why in the whammy video, the satellite video, you see a flash of light come. So we're like, oh, there's light. But when you look in the thermal, it's black. It's cold.
Oh, so no, that's a great point.
Ultraviolet light. Go ahead.
So let's show that. So this is the one where we see
That's
it actually
gravitational
go black.
lensing right there. Go ahead.
Gravitate. So what are we seeing here? So there it disappears.
So that was the frame right beforehand.
Is that not a black hole? That's a wormhole. This is, I'm telling you guys, this is what a wormhole is. Look, that's it. There you go. Okay, it's acting up. My wormhole. There you go. That's your wormhole. There it is. Right on the screen. Take a look. That's a wormhole.
And then the frame right after this wormhole opens up. By
There
the way,
you
there's
go.
only 4 frames.
I might as well just be a physicist. Hire me, CERN. Let's get it.
Of this wormhole, and you can actually see it open and close. You can even see the tail of the plane in the first frame right there. Now, what you're seeing here is you're seeing space-time being contracted. And when it gets contracted, the refractive index, the permittivity of the vacuum, changes. And when that happens, what you see is this effect where the ground state of your atom, of your hydrogen atom, your orbs, goes down. And what this does is it's like a trampoline, like jumping on a little trampoline. It pulls a little bit of energy out. And it doesn't even have to be that much energy because those balls of plasma are 20 feet wide of condensed.
That's what I'm saying. Look at the size. Okay, this is a plane, right? I don't know how many people a plane usually holds. Like what, like 70? More? I have no idea. But look at the size of these orbs, like these little balls, these big-ass balls. Sorry, these big-ass balls circling this plane. I mean, just imagine that. So he's saying that each of these orbs is like, what, 20 feet long? If I was on that plane, I'd be shitting myself. I would be absolutely crapping my pants.
Charge.
Come on.
They're
That's crazy.
extremely powerful magnets. So when you jam them together, the closer they get, that force goes up and it amplifies to a degree where then, boom, space-time itself breaks down.
Wow.
Space-time itself breaks down. And
that plane looks like it disappears. Like, you know how in those movies, like in, was it Interstellar or whatever, they say, like, when you're entering the event horizon of a black hole, it looks like from somebody from the outside, if they were looking at you going into the black hole, it would look like you sort of like dissolve or disappear. That's basically what just happened to this plane. Take a look.
that force goes up and it amplifies to a degree where
it just dissolved. It dissolved in the air. It just disappeared.
Then, boom, space-time itself breaks down. Space get too close because these magnetic fields, these orbs, is so powerful. Now, the last thing I want to say on the orbs for you to understand, which is helpful, is that these are orbs of coherent plasma, meaning that what's happening is the magnetic and electric fields the plasma is producing is what's being used to make it into a sphere. You would say, wait, what? It's actually itself is making the fields that keep it trapped? Yes. So
Wait,
what
what?
what's
I don't
being
understand
used to make it into a sphere. Fields the plasma is producing is what's being used to make it into a sphere. You would say, wait, what? It's actually itself is making the fields that keep it trapped? Yes. So what they figured out is they move the plasma around the right way. The fields will cause the plasma to become an orb that stays coherent in the sky that can float around. And that's called magnetohydrodynamics, MHD. You'll see the acronym all over the place. They're using controlled, powerful magnetic fields to move the plasma around, keep the charge separated, the positive and the negative, so that it acts like a lightning bolt. And then somebody at some point figured out, oh, let's just jam a few of these together, and then boom, we can make things disappear. The last point I want to make is, well, you're saying it's teleportation. It could probably annihilate something as well. But for several reasons, including the phones ringing, the plane being seen later on, and all this weird dance the orbs are doing on the plane, I think it's actual teleportation. So what's happening is the orbs must have an equal number of charge between the 4 orbs. You've got 3 orbs around the plane, and you've got 1 orb somewhere else. So when this plane is being teleported, Delta, don't sue me, and then comes back, the orbs need to cancel out. So let's say you've got 2 of the orbs are positively charged and 2 are negatively charged. When they come together, they're going to equalize and they're going to dissipate. That could be one configuration. The other configuration could be that the 3 orbs next to the plane all add up to 1 negative charge. And then you have 1 positive charge, let's say at Diego Garcia or in the Maldives. And then when the orbs come together, it causes them to slingshot and come together, and then they appear at your new location. That's what these people have figured out. Wow. And it's crazy because it's so far beyond our current paradigm to think that not only could we have figured out gravity and have an actual working warp drive and wormhole technology, but to actually use it on an airplane that itself is not equipped. It's not like it's a Starship Enterprise. We used it on...
How the fuck are people not talking about this? Like, how many views does this video have? 390,000 out of the 8 billion people are concerned about the fact that we actually have the technology to teleport things and manipulate space and time. Not only that, but somebody has used this technology on a civilian aircraft. Should I say any more? The fact that they admitted this makes me believe that they have crazier shit than this. It's entirely possible. Anyways, this was the Genesis episode of my conspiracy slash... I like what Clayton says, actually. This guy's his name is Clayton. He says that conspiracy theories are just 6-month spoiler alerts, and that's like the truest statement I've ever heard, because, I mean, people used to think it was delusional that these politicians and actors and actresses were like drinking adrenochrome and stuff like that, and that's like, it's basically proven at this point, right? This just blows me away. This is fucking insane. But yeah, first episode, and we'll definitely do a follow-up on this, because there's definitely going to be a lot more stuff coming out about this that I'm going to cover. So stay tuned, everyone. and have a fantastic day.